Well, it's now spring. How are we all feeling? Depressed? Good. The weather is getting better. Children are outside playing. Friends are outside drinking. Flowers are outside flowering. And me? I'm inside watching shitty Netflix movies. I've loved horror movies ever since I was a little boy. I remember sneaking into the living room when I was really young. I sat in between two couches and I watched Scary Movie 3 and it scared my little socks off. Yes, I know, it's a comedy, I'm aware, but it still scared me. The film came out in like 2005, I was like 12, leave me alone. Following this, I have always chased the feeling of being scared as much as I was. Thus, my love for horror films being born. And in that search, I found and loved cheese. Physically and emotionally. What the fuck is this? Physically and emotionally, I love cheese. But more importantly, I love cheese in horror movies. However, this film we're talking about today is not the cheese to my cracker. That's right, today we're going to be looking at a Netflix horror movie called The Possession of Hannah Grace. I want to talk about my experience with this movie and the god-awful film that it is, and I want to bring you along. So let's go. The movie starts with Father Priest doing his exorcism thing on a demon girl who we later find out to be Hannah Grace. During the exorcism, the priest is game ended in an hilarious fashion and Hannah's dad gets headbutted by Hannah, and he reacts the only way we could all do in that situation. 3 months later, baby, we see our main character practicing her Will Smith moves on the boxing bag.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking...
The main character showers, leaves her apartment to attend the hospital where she is joined with her friend for a job interview she has there. The two have a conversation in which her friend is doing her a favour, alluding to something having happened. The main character and the doctor walk to the interview, and along the way the doctor explains he is aware of her past, and the main character confirms that she is okay now and she can handle the job. I think one of the selling points from the Will Smith smack cam from earlier in the film is trying to sell this narrative of the main character overcoming a previous traumatic event, and I think the only reason they did this is to sell the fact that the main character makes stupid decisions. Dr. Phil explains to the main character that previous employees believe to have seen things, and he states this is only due to the nature of the job. I mean, it is a morgue after all. The doctor then proceeds to explain basically everything that happens in the movie within 2 minutes. Hitman in disguise then explains what she will be doing in the role. Afterwards, he explains her shift starts the next night at 11 to 7 AM. Which I'm sorry, yeah, I'm a little confused right now. Why would a hospital let someone clearly with a troubled past that they know about show them one shitty example of how to do the job? Be like, yeah, you're right to work the next shift alone tomorrow. Am I the only one who just thinks that wouldn't happen? We are then introduced to a montage of some shots of her body as well as our main character, Usain bolting it down the streets.
I'm fast as fuck, boy.
Our main character, wait, what is her name? It's really annoying calling her the main character.
In the morgue. I'm Megan.
Ah, Megan. Megan gets on the bus and goes to work. I have absolutely no idea why she wears a hood like this, but we move. Megan walks into the hospital in which we are introduced to the security guards. I don't know this guy's name, and this guy's called Dave. Which, if there is one good thing to come from this movie, it has to be Dave. This movie is so unintentionally bad, and he is so unintentionally funny, it just kind of works. Megan begins to process some paperwork, and immediately the lights that are on a sensor go off, and then we inform there is someone in the intake bay. At the intake bay, a body is then brought into the morgue, and surprisingly, after one shit example of what to do, Megan is pretty up to speed with it. After the body has been unloaded onto the trolley, Megan takes photos and fingerprints down as shown before, and puts the body into the fridge. Is it a fridge? I think it's a fridge. Yeah, one big fridge. Mr. Afro Man then jump scares Megan, apologizes like a little simp, and then leaves. Megan leaves the bathroom and walks down the corridor in which she sees a dead man standing there. After confronting him, she is then hit with a flashback to what happened, and we cut to her presumably at an AA meeting. We then see what happens with Megan in the past, and her lack of confidence in decision making is what caused her partner to be shot and killed. So basically this is the whole subplot of the movie. Megan has had a traumatic experience in the past, and she's using drugs and alcohol to suppress her guilt she is feeling. This is fine if you're a toddler with a crayon writing a story. I'm not knocking at this kind of narrative that they're trying to tell, but when it's so blunt and in your face, it takes away the impact of the character's action. It feels like they wrote the whole movie, and then when they were watching it back, they were like, yeah, so we have horror and everything, but like, why doesn't Megan just leave? What do you mean? Like, Megan just joined the job. If all this boogie shit was to have happened, then you would just walk out the door, right? Nah, shit, that's the stuff. We are next introduced to Megan's boyfriend at her apartment, who happens to be a police officer. The two converse, and Megan explains that she's got a new job. It's clear that the relationship breakup is pretty raw, and the conversation with them is even more awkward. Her boyfriend explains, is the job at the morgue a good idea for Megan due to her past? She agrees it is, and they begin to get in a heated argument and he leaves. Back at the morgue, Megan is playing with an elastic ball when the intake bay goes off again. At the intake bay, there is no one to be seen, and the camera does this absolutely ridiculous pan to a stupid jump scare.
Stop! You violated the law.
The man at the door explains that he does not have a key card and becomes aggressive, and Megan tells him to leave. The intake bay goes off again, where we are met with Randy, who's to drop another body off. Now here we go. This is where we get into the juice of the character's stupid decisions. Randy explains it's just him on this shift tonight and he needs help to move the body into the intake bay. Megan explains that she can't leave the intake bay. Randy just asks for help again and Megan does it. She's just like, okay, that's fine. I'll throw caution to the wind. So, 1, why does Randy need help with the body anyway? How the fuck did he get the body into the ambulance in the first place? And 2, you literally saw the man at the bay 5 minutes ago. Are you not going to explain to Randy like what just happened? The guy clearly trying to attack you? Why is an ambulance letting someone operate a night shift by themselves? And then obviously the man from the bay gets into the morgue. Randy and Megan move the body onto a trolley and Randy explains the backstory of the body they have. This is where the movie reveals that it is...
And the Oscar goes to...
Hannah Grace. As Megan is inspecting the body uncomfortably close, Randy gets cut off in the funniest way possible.
Thanks, Randy.
You got it.
I can take it from
It's just like, okay, Randy, cool, yeah, mate, nice. Right, fuck off. Now, yeah, go. Randy leaves, leaving Megan alone now with the homeless guy from before. We know this because the movie loves to show the sensors for the lights going off. Megan begins to try and take photos of the body of Hannah Grace, but each image she tries to take errors. We are then seeing a shot of Hannah Grace's eye being blue, letting us the viewer know that she is still possessed as it's shown in the beginning. Megan takes her fingerprints and the computer completely shuts off. So right, look, okay, I get it. You want to be this independent person and just carry on with your job. But when it's your second shift at work and the equipment's doing a fucking raid on you, why wouldn't you call someone? Okay, I appreciate that it's late at night, but surely on your second shift you must have someone to support you. Some form of contact. I appreciate that Dr. Phil's trying to get some fucking snoozers in, but come on. Anyway, afterwards, Megan puts Hannah's body into the big fridge and the equipment on the trolley begins to shake and fall off. Megan begins to clean the wounds that she got from the broken glass and the door behind her opens that had Hannah Grace in. She just shuts the door and pretends that it didn't happen because, of course she would. To search for who the hell this blue-eyed devil girl is, Megan logs into a previous police database, but it shows that her account is gone and she uses her ex-boyfriends to get in. Totally not illegal. Searching for Hannah, it comes up with her information, and I mean, I'm no police officer. I work in an office under the fluorescent lights and the dread of an Excel spreadsheet. But is a driver's license the first thing that comes up? Megan notices that Hannah's eyes are brown on her ID and blue on the body. After examining the eye uncomfortably close, Megan pulls back the sheets to a swarm of flies. So surely this is the moment where you would just nope the fuck out of your job? But wait, remember that stupid subplot? Ah yes, Megan is confused if this is real or if she is imagining it. Original. On this topic, Megan turns to see that there's no flies and she puts the body back into the fridge. After going back into her office for a bit of her time, Megan hears a noise down the corridor and instead of calling security to, do their job, after what happened in the intake bay, DIY Megan goes to check the noise, stating that if it's Dave, she will cut that sweet afro off. Opening the door to the noise, Megan notices the body of Hannah Grace has gone and is being dragged down the hole. Following this, she is then attacked by, guess who? Guess fucking who? The man. In the intake bay. Who would have saw that one coming? Megan manages to fend off the old dude and goes back to call security. Instantly after calling security, she goes back down to find the man because, well, of course she would do that.
But why? Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
After confronting the man trying to burn the body, Dave comes in like a knight in shining armor to protect his love Megan, and in the process, nearly has his arm severed off. The man explains they need to burn the body, so it's obviously the dad from the start of the movie. He is trying to destroy Hannah's body to get rid of the curse. Looking at the body of Hannah Grace, he has tried everything to make this happen, but has had no luck. Security take the man away, and I guess Megan is just left to put Hannah's body back like, where's Randy when you need him? Right, so a lot has happened in the last 4 or 5 minutes or however long that this video has been. And this is something that the movie faces as a problem, is the pacing in the movie. Everything is 100 miles an hour. I know it's got a pretty limited runtime and they need to cram as much in as they can, but what it does is it takes away from any tension that the movie could potentially have. Horror movies work on raising the tension of the viewer, getting it to the peak that it could be, and then releasing that tension in some way. This is normally seen as a jump scare or some form of conclusion to what it is that you've been viewing. But this movie fails on that because everything just happens so fast. The viewer has no tension build or release. Anyway, Megan puts the body back. When Hannah's arm contorts in the bag, Megan uses her brain for once, shuts the door and backs away. But the door opens on its own anyway. Frustrated by everything that has happened, Megan opens the door to find out what is going on. And after being distracted by a call, the body moves again. Getting uncomfortably close for the second time, the body lets out a sigh and she shuts the door. Her friend comes to tell her that after everything that has happened tonight, she can go home. Megan explains that she needs to push through these difficult situations. Explaining what she had experienced to her friend, she explains corpses exhale air when they move. Megan opens up to her friend, stating that when she was attacked, her first instinct was to fight and not run. Explains to her friend she wishes that she had this approach when her partner was attacked. Dave? No. So, my light died, so the rest of the video is going to look like this. So Dave comes downstairs to offer to guard the morgue for Megan, and like, his arm is just fine. Like, his arm was nearly cut off, bro. I know a movie's got a movie, but come on. The dude's arm was fucking sliced. I suppose the hospital is only just a floor up, but still. No. He would at least get an afternoon off. Megan is off to talk to her boyfriend, failing to mention anything that she has seen tonight. The two have a conversation in which Meg's boyfriend explains that he is missing his Xanax and alludes to Megan taking the pill from him. The two argue and Megan asks for his help. Dave begins to play baseball in the morgue to kill time and he hears the ball that he just knocked down the corridor being played with. Meanwhile, Megan gives her boyfriend Hannah's information to run a check and we get this absolutely cringy scene.
What?
Wants a car.
Just give me the prints, okay?
Dave finds the ball in the big fridge and hears scratching coming from Hannah's room. Is it a room? What are they called? Hannah is not there and Dave gets not alived by Hannah. How? I don't know. You don't get to see that. That would have been cool. And this movie is anything but that. Megan returns to look for Dave, but Dave and his fro are nowhere to be seen. While taking an absolutely massive dump, Megan hears the door open. Asking if it is Dave, she is then invited to a friendly game of catch in which she does not respond, so the demon girl does not want to be a friend no more. The boyfriend of the hour rings Megan to say that the prints state that Hannah has been dead for months. Thinking this must be a mistake, Megan goes investigator mode and reads one article on Hannah Grace. Weirdly obsessed with Hannah, she goes to have another look at the body, presumably forgetting the last hour of this film has happened. She notices the wound on Hannah's torso has magically healed. Convinced that something is going on but not convinced enough to leave, Megan asks for the footage to look back on to see if the spooky girl in the footage is real. Panicked from what she saw, Megan turns to the bottle of drugs to suppress her anxiety but stops. Now 100% sure that Blue-Eyed Girl is alive, she shows her friend what she has seen for her to say it's just a shadow. Bored of Megan showing her FNAF lore videos, she explores the room to find the drugs on her side and is sure that Megan is using drugs again. Megan's friend leaves Megan's weird and wonderful world of demons girls to go for a quick ciggy. Thinking she saw Mr. Fro himself upstairs, she chases Dave to find him hanging out underneath the stairwell. To be fair, when I did first see this movie, the sight of Dave underneath those stairs, it did creep me out, I've got to be honest. Stunned by the sight of the spooky girl, Megan Friend tries to go to the roof and gets game ended by Hannah Grace. Back downstairs, Megan sees Randy has again managed to bring a body in all by himself but still needs the help of Muscle Megan. Megan explains that Hannah has been taking Etz's flasks and has now healed, and Randy agrees it is a bit booky. Explaining what has been happening, Randy attempts to understand why someone so equipped would be working nights in a morgue. Randy can see that Megan's been through some shit. Randy opens up to Megan about his past issues with substance abuse, with alcohol, to relate to Megan and her issues. After her pep talk from Randog and his story of his son motivating her, she comes clean to her boyfriend for stealing the drugs from earlier, stating that it made her feel more safe knowing that they were there. Meanwhile, Hannah is Metal Gear Soliding her way into the elevator. Randy is GTA'd the ambulance and he hears a noise outside, so he gets out to check what he's just heard. Randy, no. I mean, he was a cool character and everything, but oh well. To be fair, the actor that plays Hannah, the contortion that she does, it's fucking sick. Like, dude, I fucking struggle just to bend down to put my little soccos on in the morning. Megan sees that Snake managed to get past her detection meter on the security cameras, and she goes up to see if Randy is okay, and, well, he is now Swiss cheese. While fondling Randy's dead body, she is attacked by the old guy from earlier who demands that they need to burn the body. The old guy reveals that Hannah has been possessed and the evil is residing in her body, and the blue eye is the mark of the devil. He tells Megan his attempts to kill his daughter is just to protect other people. Stop talking about it, mate, then just fucking do it. Anyway, attempting to burn the body of the crispy girl, the old guy is attacked and Hannah pulls a Uno reverse card and tries to burn the old guy. Keeping up? Me either. Hannah begins to chase Megan through the morgue and doesn't kill Megan for some reason. Anyway, Chad boyfriend number 2 comes looking for M-Dog, who is now locked in the big fridge with the dead bodies of everyone. Not sure why Hannah even did this, but we move. Megan manages to escape and Hannah comes for all 3 of them looking like Spider-Man on the ceiling. The security guard attempts to run, he has the right idea, and that is probably what Megan should have done from the start. And this is it? This is Megan's big moment. Hannah does the weird crucifying kill thing, which just looks super fucking awkward and it's not scary at all. And Megan finally does it. She defies all odds and shoots Hannah Grace, which stops the possession. Taking the body of Hannah Grace, she places her in the big oven, burning her, ending the possession. Somehow not frying her big fucking head in the process. I mean, come on, look at this. Having killed the demon, Megan of course starts playing ball like before and the police finally arrive. And of course they don't see the dead bodies of all these people and automatically assume that Megan is the murderer. She is just a traumatized, drug addicted, clearly unstable person working in a morgue talking about demons. Yeah, no, it was definitely a demon that killed her. Her boyfriend said so. We then leave on Megan giving a monologue on how she is clean now, and the film alludes to Megan being possessed by Hannah the demon. So is this film absolutely awful? No. But does it have some super weak characters and some questionable writing and design flaws? More importantly, pacing issues? Yes. The idea of a possession movie being based in a morgue, it's a pretty cool idea, and it can be done well. Just look at the film The Autopsy of Jane Doe. That's an amazing film, and if you haven't watched it, you totally should. That movie was fucking awesome, and this is what that movie clearly wants to be. I expected too much from a Netflix horror, to be honest. That is my bad. But if there was a horror movie that I would recommend watching on Netflix right now, it would probably be Into the Tall Grass. I love that movie, and I think it was actually made by Stephen King's son? I might be wrong on that, let me check. Hi guys, thanks so much for watching my video. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like down below. If you liked what you saw, consider subscribing to the channel. I'm going to be making more content just like this. If you haven't had a chance, check out my previous video. I've just done a video on why Elden Ring is important to the gaming industry. But until next time, I'll see you guys later, in a bit.